launch of the development program, the 5G-MAG reference tools have been growing in functionalities coming from the community of developers. These are some examples of the joint effort.
With this video, we want to thank the contributors and let everybody know what they've done. This is just the first year. Enjoy it and happy Target 2023.
As the BBC celebrates 100 years of broadcasting, BBC R&D is helping the corporation transition to an IP-based future, and streaming our content reliably to listeners and viewers on the move is an important piece of that jigsaw.
5G networks bring increased download speeds, but network capacity is finite, and we've been working alongside mobile industry colleagues at 3GPP to standardise a way for mobile apps to collaborate with networks to improve the overall streaming quality of experience. The result is the 5G media streaming architecture. To help demonstrate the potential benefits of this new standard, my team has been contributing to 5G-MAG's open source implementation of it.
The 5G application server acts like a content delivery network node, ingesting content and making the content available to mobile devices. It can be deployed either inside or outside the 5G network. I have adapted an off-the-shelf web proxy to make it compatible with the 3GPP specifications. I've developed an interface that enables an application function to remotely configure one or more instances of an application server.
The application function lies at the heart of the 5G MS architecture. Once the application provider has provisioned 5G media streaming services, mobile devices can use the media session handling API to find out how the network is currently performing and ask it for assistance. For example, they can request a temporary boost in bitrate or to do a zero-rated download in the background. They can also report their quality of experience and consumption to the application function, data that can be analyzed to improve the service. So far, I have implemented a basic media handling API in the application function and the interface to configure the application server. And I am currently developing a basic implementation of the provisioning API.
We recently demonstrated 5G media streaming to real mobile devices in our lab-based 5G standalone testbed, which is built from open-source cloud-based core and Cloud RAN components integrated with a software-defined 5G base station. With these foundations in place, more features can be contributed to the reference implementation by anyone. For example, other contributors to the 5G reference tools effort have started implementing the client-side components on the left-hand side of the diagram. Looking forward to the new year, we're hoping to collaborate with others to develop a reference implementation of 5G multicast broadcast services. This will allow us to investigate the potential benefits of this feature in combination with 5G media streaming. For now though, we wish you a very Merry Christmas and a happy Target 2023.
Welcome, this is Thomas from Qualcomm, and we are proud initiator and founder of the 5G-MAG reference tools group. And we have a small team around the world, and I would like to introduce this team working on 5G broadcast, 5G media distribution and 3GPP. So let's go!
2022 was a great year for 5G broadcast. It's really when we started to have a lot of interest in the ecosystem. We got a lot of projects going on in China, in Europe, in India, in Brazil. We have interest from many continents, and we definitely look forward to what's next.
We hope that in 2023 we keep building the ecosystem for 5G broadcast, and that next year you will be watching this video directly over 5G broadcast to your smartphone and without any additional hardware.
5G-MAG was instrumental to deliver an open source platform for 5G broadcast. For Target 2023, we in Qualcomm support the next steps in 5G-MAG reference tools to integrate 5G broadcast with 5G media streaming. As our first contribution to this exciting new project, we implemented basic 5G media streaming UE functions, the media session handler and the media player, and connected to BBC's 5G-MS network. I hand over to my colleagues Wei Yu and Jilin in China to explain more details.
Hello, this is Wei Yu from Qualcomm China. I'll explain you the first handshake we did just a few days ago with the BBC 5G-MS network components you saw earlier. We implemented the initial functions of media session handler and media player. Here's our test app. Let us check the BBC Christmas greetings. We send a 5G-MS RESTful API call to the AF and get a 5G conforming JSON response. The media session handler instructs the media player to play the video, and the media player gets the MPD from the AS. So let's unpack our Christmas present. We got a voucher for some segments, and we request those while 5G-MS control functions monitor the session.
For now though, we wish you a very Merry Christmas and a happy Target 2023.
Thank you, Richard.
圣诞节快乐
அனைவருக்கும் கிறிஸ்மஸ் மற்றும் புத்தாண்டு நல்வாழ்த்துக்கள். Go 5G-MAG.
Buon Natale e felici feste a tutti.
Feliz Navidad.
عيد ميلاد سعيد لكم.
Hello, this is a Christmas greeting from Qualcomm China. 圣诞节快乐
Frohe Weihnachten und ein gutes neues Jahr. Let's go, 5G-MAG.
Hello! Greetings from the ORS and Bitstem team from Austria. Not only for 5G-MAG but also for us, this was a very exciting year. We made a lot of progress in further developing the 5G broadcast ecosystem.
After developing the first open source 5G broadcast receiver last year, this year we focused on supporting our friends at UPV in developing the first 5G broadcast transmitter. We invited them over to Vienna for a joint workshop and had a lot of fun showing them around town and taking them out to check out the local Viennese cuisine.
Based on the growing ecosystem, we, ORS and Bitstem launched a joint project called Narcolos. Our goal is to develop the most promising use cases for 5G broadcast and also to support the 5G-MAG community.
Based on the promising feedback at IBC, we are currently working on a test environment for all the members of the 5G-MAG community who are interested in trying out broadcast on demand, seamless switching or 5G broadcast only.
In September at the IBC we demonstrated the broadcast on demand use case with the help of the 5G-MAG transmitter. Let's have a quick look at our setup. So as you can see right here we have the 5G-MAG transmitter with our Narcolos headend, the dashboard and also the mobile handhelds. With this specific use case we provide a solution for having unlimited CDN capacities at a fixed price for broadcasters and content providers.
So for those of you who are interested in one of these use cases, we are happy to welcome you at Mobile World Congress at our booth. And the Narcolos team wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year!
In 2022 has been a great year for our research group from Polytechnic University of Valencia, in which we work in the research and development of the latest technologies for mobile communications and content production and distribution. 5G allows us to communicate in a faster and more efficient way and to a greater number of devices and people, which give us the opportunity to develop new tools and to use it in use cases to test its capabilities. At the beginning of 2022, we became part of the 5G Media Access Group, and then we've been collaborating and contributing to its growth. Initially, our participation focused on the development of the reference tools for the RAM part of the network, specifically for the 5G broadcast receiver developed by ORS. Later, we began with the developing of the transmitter during 2 workshops held in February and July. Thanks to the inclusion of these 5G broadcast transmitter to the reference tools, open source implementation of a 5G broadcast network was completed. Thanks to these tools, we've been able to deploy and to test a 5G broadcast pilot here in Spain using commercial network facilities, and thus initiate the validation and field testing stage, which until now have been limited to the laboratory environment. We are currently improving both transmitter and receiver thanks to the results obtained in these field tests, in addition to initiating the development of the new advanced features specified in the 3GPP standard for 5G related to multicast and broadcast in order to continue extending the reference tools. Recently, the 5G-MAG use cases and objectives for the 2023 have been established, within we plan to develop 5G multicast elements for the core part of the network, with the inclusion of satellite distribution and 5G new radio features, marking the beginning of the collaboration and contribution by a larger part of our research group. On behalf of our research groups, I would like to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Hey, this is Romain from MotionSpell and the GPAC open source project. Today I wanted to talk about the addition of the root protocol to the 5G-MAG reference tools. For that we use the GPAC open source project. Root is an updated version of Flute, and both Flute and Root allow to broadcast local file systems. That means that if you have an OTT live session like a Dash or HLS live session, you can broadcast the file system and its update to the receivers. Qualcomm sponsored the integration of Root inside the 5G-MAG reference tools. What is interesting with GPAC? First, it's open source. Second thing, it's purely IP based. So the integration inside the 5G reference tools allows you to use it with physical layers, but you don't need to use that to actually leverage the GPAC implementation, so you can make your own experiments with zero hardware or hardware emulation. Another thing that is interesting to qualify this stack is that we support all your favorite OTT features, low latency, CMAF, encryption, and this is due to the fact that the GPAC implementation was made early. We won an NAB Innovation Award in 2018 for that, and this stack has gone into a lot of interoperability. Thank you and happy Christmas.
One of my main goals as the development coordinator of the 5G-MAG reference tools is to make the life of other developers as easy as possible. As part of the 5G-MAG reference tools, we have various repositories in place. Especially during the development, you will often want to focus on a specific aspect of the 5G broadcast or the 5G media streaming chain. For that reason, one of the first things we implemented here at Fraunhofer FOKUS was a testing framework for the development of the MBMS middleware. The MBMS middleware is one of the key components of the 5G broadcast stack within the 5G-MAG reference tools. The testing framework uses other open source tools such as FFmpeg to create a Dash or HLS livestream that is then multicasted using our 5G-MAG Flute library. This multicast can then be used as an input for the development of the MBMS middleware. In this case, we do not require a real 5G broadcast for the development, lowering the entry barrier for other developers. This is also a great synergy to other projects that we are maintaining here at Fraunhofer FOKUS, for instance the Dash.js open source player. The approach I just described was extended to support HLS seamless switching, another key feature of the 5G-MAG reference tools that was implemented by our colleagues from Nakolos. Another important aspect of our work is the support for the actual users of the 5G-MAG reference tools. We are very happy that more and more people and companies are starting to use the reference tools as part of their 5G media chain. By providing setup guides, use case-oriented documentation, but also various configuration options, for instance for different 5G broadcast service announcement formats, we are trying to make their life as easy as possible. Aside from the development related aspects, we also had the chance to present the work that was done within the 5G-MAG reference tools in various papers and on various conferences. One of my personal highlights this year was the IBC, where I presented our work on dynamic content delivery switching between 5G broadcast and OTT streaming. We are very much looking forward to Target 2023 and are excited about what is to come. On behalf of everyone, I'm wishing you a nice Christmas, happy holidays, and I hope that Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer brings you a lot of presents. Bye bye.